In this lecture, we'll be understanding how routing works by creating a simple web application. So first of all, I'm inside a directory, and here I've written this command which says vue init webpack and then the name of the project as routes. Now let's go ahead and press enter. This is going to create routes project for me, and here you can just give a name to your project like routes and press enter to keep the default value. Then select the runtime plus compiler, the default selection, and say yes when it says install Vue router, and yes for ESLint as well. Default selection will be done there. Yes over here as well, and yes for Nightwatch as well. So this creates your project. As you can see over here, the routes project is created now. What we need to do is go inside the directory routes and say npm install. So it's gonna install all the dependencies required to run this project, and once that's done, we'll be executing npm run dev to launch this routes application. And once it's done, let's go ahead and first of all execute the npm run dev command to see what exactly has been created for us. So there you go, we have our routes coming up over here. Now let's go ahead and explore the project that we have created. Inside the src directory, you'll find a new directory called router, and if you take a closer look to main.js file, here we have the router coming up, and if I go inside the router, you will find a file called index.js. Now inside that file, you can see that there's a route defined for the root path, and the component that is going to be rendered is hello. So what exactly you're seeing right now is this page, and this is actually coming from component called home. So here in my components directory, I have got a component called hello.vue, and this is what you're exactly seeing on the screen when I'm on the root path. So let's go ahead and add another component. Let's call it as about, and I'll be taking few things from here, and I'll be keeping it very simple. I'll be removing this, and I'll just say this is about us page, and here I'll be giving it a name. Let's call it as about. And if you want to show some message over here, you can do that by updating this. Learning routing in Vue, and that message will appear over here inside double curly braces. That's it, and you can keep the styling exactly as it is over here. I'm not changing that. So that's pretty much it. I have created the about component. Now what I need to do is inside the router index.js file, I need to create another route over here. Let's give it a path. So path in this case will be /about, and the name as I've given about, so I'll be giving it the same name over here as well. And after that, I'll be creating a component over here. So the component that we created was about, and that's what we'll be referring over here. Now one thing you need to do is import it over here. So I'll be saying import about from this path. And now let's go ahead and relaunch this application, and here you are. When I'm visiting the about path, you can see that I'm being taken to the about component. This is about us page. Now one more thing that I would like to highlight over here is the app.vue file. Now app.vue file is the file where the actual contents are being rendered when the matching path is found. So when inside router index.js you are specifying this path, when this path matches, this particular component gets rendered, and the area where it renders is defined by this tag that we have. That's router view. So every time a new path matches inside the router's index.js file, that component gets rendered at this place. So this is kind of a placeholder where components will be rendered based on the path that we have defined in index.js file of the router directory. Now if I go over here inside the hello.vue file, and here I have the about link available now. Let's click on this, and there you go. You have the about us page rendered. So that's how routing works in Vue.js. It's pretty simple. All you need to do is just define it inside the index.js file, and the components will be available on that particular route. And this is the placeholder that we make use of to display those components. This wraps up Vue.js. I hope you enjoyed this course. Thanks a lot.